What's up, y'all? We got some stuff to talk. Big update from Bethune-Cookman University. So yeah, we're gonna get to it. But before we do that, let's open the show. My people, it is Thursday again. Thank you for joining me. I'm Steve Holmes. I'm your host. You're watching another episode of The Real. And thank you guys for joining me again on an important episode. We got some things to discuss today, and I think it's a little movement. There's a little movement today. So I want to get to that and a few other things. I figured out kind of a makeshift call line, so you guys will be able to do our calls today and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to get back into that, and I'm excited to hear from everybody. If you are out there in the chat, go ahead and say what's up. Tell your boy what's up. Hell, Wildcats, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, here on YouTube. We're also on TikTok over there as well. And that kind of helps us to grow and helps us to do our thing. And per usual, first order of business, my faves, the real MVPs. These are for those of you catching the show for the first time. We do this weekly where we highlight people that contribute to the show. As you all know, we are a grassroots organization that is funded by you all, the alumni, the watchers and the supporters of The Real. So if you guys find it not robbery, there's our Cash App down there at the bottom. Every dime goes either into the show, into our platform, or in some way back to the students. So yeah, I'm thankful for everybody who's joining tonight, and to my faves and my usuals, who's everybody who's always here every week, man, who've been riding with me since we started doing this back in January, man. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all so much. You guys are amazing. What this show has been able to do over the last several months in helping to bridge the gap between alumni, the institution, the students, and being able to essentially put all of us back in the room together, indirectly, but being able to do that has been really kind of the greatest reward for me, and you guys can see it. But let me get back to my MVPs. Eric, twice this month, he's contributed twice this month. Theron as well as Milan, they've all contributed to this show twice this month. I love y'all. Thank you so much for continuing to show your support. Vernon, Adrian, Darius, Oscar, Derek, Jason, Jamila, and Lenitra. Thank y'all so much. I gotta pause and put a pin in something really quick. Adrian, and I think it's Tundra and Lenitra. I know. Listen, I owe y'all t-shirts. The love tee. I dropped the ball on that, and I thought I had them ordered, and I didn't. I promise you, I will have them ordered immediately following this show. I was doing something, and I was just sitting there typing. I literally just remembered, like, oh crap, I didn't send the shirts out. I got y'all. What I did for those three was just randomly, we had our love tee promotion last month, and I think they had given, like, they were the first three people to give, and so I told them I was gonna give them a shirt, and I dropped the ball on it. I ain't even gonna lie, I dropped the ball on it. I didn't forget, but I forgot. All right, so I got y'all. So yeah, speaking of not dropping the ball and giving back and all that good stuff, listen, next week, June 18th, listen y'all, this is important. Next week we gonna have a show. I do my show. I may I may do a show a day early next week. I may do a show on the day of giving. We're still trying to work some things out with that, but I may try to do something like that. But whether that happens or not next week, giving, all giving should be to the school. If you send me whatever you send the show next week, if you decide or if you forget, guess what? It's going to the school. Everything next week, as far as giving is concerned, should be about the institution. Yes, the show continues to need your contributions and all that good stuff, but more importantly, next week, Day of Giving, the big give back is happening on Wednesday, and it's going to be a really big deal. And they're trying to raise $200,000. I think we're going to blow that out of the water. All right, so we need everybody, all hands on deck. $10, $20, $50, $100, $1,000, and if you got it, 10, 20, right? We need everybody, all hands on deck. To help give back to the institution. And kind of next week, it's gonna be some stuff, some smoking and moving going on. So yeah, there's that. Oops, wrong camera. But before we get into kind of the update from the presidential search, and it is a big one. I was kind of debating if I was going to talk about it. I'm just going to hit on it for a second. This situation with A&M, and I know we don't typically like to talk about them on the show, but with their AD, what did y'all think about that? I'm just flabbergasted at how A&M continues to step in, self-inflicted wounds. It's just like, it's been crazy, man. But let me hit to the chat and see what's going on. My boy Jason Gatlin 85, what's up, my brother? Agent says he's got his popcorn ready. Can't wait. Oh, Lord. I done hyped y'all up, didn't I? Who is that? Beautiful curls. Is that you, Milan? Look like Milan. I can't tell. Who else we got? Warnell Figures, my man. How you doing, brother? Fierce Highlights. Oh, it's my man Ty. What's up, bro? Thanks for joining, man. Angelina, how you doing? Cool. I'm making y'all sweat, man. Please. All right. Anyways, about that fam situation, that was crazy. I do want to give you guys an update. We've got a president. However, that's the big news. They voted today. And I do not know when they will make the announcement, but they took a vote today. And we've got a leader. We've got an 8th president of the institution. We just don't know who it is. And I'm excited to find out, where we stand and who that person may be. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know. I have no idea who it is. If I knew who it was, I'd be like, yeah, I know, but I just can't share it. I legit have no idea. All I know is I have it on good order, and it has been confirmed that they did meet today and they did vote. And I believe we'll know something really soon about who that person is. So I know that's not exactly the news y'all were hoping. Y'all think the school gonna let me break the news of who the president is? Come on, man. Like, I got a little bit of pull, but not that much pull. But I was able to find out. I started seeing some things online, just some little smoke signals, and I just started seeing some things that I'm just like, somebody posted that, somebody posted, and it was nothing like nothing too like out there. But then so I started, making some calls and sending some text out, and I got it confirmed that we've got somebody listening. If this was the Pope, if consider this show, how they do the smoke, the black smoke when they choose a Pope. Well, this show tonight is the black smoke for the Pope or the president. So Yeah, so it's a it's a big deal, and I think I'd like to know, you know, how you guys feel about it. Now, obviously, you don't know who it is, but I want to know, you guys. I want you to call in, and I want to know who you think it is, and like, why do you think, that person should be it? I want to hear from everybody, and it doesn't matter who you choose now, because the decision, the decision has been made, right? The decision has been made. So, I want to hear what you guys think, and maybe your thoughts, and you know, what Angelina says. I did think they might let you break the news. Let me tell you something. If they let me break that news, listen, I have made it. I have made it. If they let me break that, but no. So, I think that one of the one of I don't want to call it a concern, but just one of the things that I spoke to a couple of the board members of last week about. I feel really passionately about how they bookend this process. They started it right in the very beginning, and they came out of the gate. John Crossman and Jeff Branch, the search committee, like everything they've done up to this point. Oh, y'all know what happened to my camera. I lost my camera, so I'm gonna just go right here for a second. But everything that we've lost up that happened to this point. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see? All right, you guys can see. I may need to adjust my camera for a second so I can come back. Give me one. Let me just adjust my camera. Give me 1 second, y'all. Matter of fact, let's do this. All right. I don't know what's going on with my camera, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so I'm gonna just stick with this one. This is kind of weird. Anyways, um, I forgot what I was saying about the. Um, yeah, this is crazy. Why my camera just go out like that? Um, oh, I know why. Anyways, I want them to make sure that they bookend this process from the beginning to the end. I want to make sure they bookend it. We started it right. We got to finish it right. And it is very important that the way they roll out our eighth president is really important. We cannot botch this. We cannot botch it. And so I'm excited to see how they roll this thing out. And let's see. Sumner says, "How you doing, Sumner?" He says, "I hope that we don't hear the bot decision until there's a contract signed. The bot made that mistake once before, and it was a disaster." Let me tell y'all something. This is kind of to my point. We got to do everything right. Everything at this point. We can't fumble the back end of this. It's got to be done right, and everything from going through the proper steps of getting the contract signed, and then from there, I know they still have to figure out um, the contract, not the contracts, but salaries and all that stuff and the terms, like get all that set up, and then there's going to be a period of time when probably a little quiet period, and then we got to do the rollout. That part to me has got to be on point, because it'll be a show of faith. It'll be a show of kind of strength and a show of kind of our return to normalcy if we can do this right on the back end. And so I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that we get a chance to, again, close this chapter of the book in really good order, because it's gonna matter how the next several days, how it goes. So, and I made sure to emphasize that to a couple of the board members that, like, I really want to make sure they do it right, and not just press release, news, like everything, social media, news releases, press releases, print, paper. Like, I just want it to be done right, because everybody deserves for this entire process to end on a high note, because from that point on, guess what? Now it's time to get to work, and all the fanfare and all of the stuff it's gonna get put behind us. And so, yeah, it's Warnell says, who do you feel was the best candidate? Oh man, I'll say this. I'll give you a politically correct answer that there was something about each candidate that I liked a lot. And I think I explained it last week. Like, if Coleman Farrell gets chosen, I would like her because super relatable. Like, super duper relatable. Her energy and her vibe just felt very, very, just, again, like a auntie I already knew. And I think I've said that a few times. If it would be, say, Dr. Gibbs, I would be excited because of her. Again, she seems like she's super duper smart and has the analytical side, and somebody who could really get into the weeds on the data. And those types of people, like, they're not going to give you opinions. Analytical people don't give you opinions. They give you insights based on the data. And so, yeah. And then if it were Dr. Mosley, well, we got some familiarity there. He's got his experience. Watching him speak, again, confidence, like all of that stuff. Like, he had everything. I would be excited to see him as our president, right? So that's a politically correct answer. And that's honest. That's my honest answer too. Like, I think all three of them had some things. So yeah. Let me check my camera again. I don't know what happened. Why my main camera went out on me. That's weird. I know y'all can hear me, but I don't understand why my camera is going crazy on me. Oh. Yeah. So all right. So let's do this. We're gonna open up the phone lines in a second, but let's first have a word from our sponsor. This segment has been brought to you by Sky Confections. Are you in the Metro Atlanta area and planning a celebration or corporate event? Let Sky Confections make your day a little bit sweeter. Visit skyconfections.com to order your next custom cake jars, or book a hosted cake decorating experience. Be sure to follow and like at Sky Confections on all social media platforms. Cool. All right. Well, y'all, it's that time. Man, I really hate this. I don't understand my camera. Do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the phone lines. 404-567-6536. And let's talk about it. And give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking with respect to the news that our board has voted today. And apparently, we have a president. I don't know. Again, I don't know if even they've finalized the votes yet. But I mean, somebody won. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, do me a favor, go ahead and call in. The line is open. And I know there's quite a few of you all watching, so I am I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. Wild Tiger, love your show, man. We love you back. We love you back. Thank you for tuning in. Eric says this one feels different. I'm ready to give back cheerfully now. I always gave, but now I'm excited to give back to BCU. Man, listen, that's really that is really the biggest thing, is the energy that I think you're starting to see kind of coalesce around the institution now. You're starting to see some people come back into the fold, and you're starting to see people back, feeling good, back giving, back doing their thing. And so, yeah, I just think it's a really good thing. And Sean Higgins makes note that all votes have not been tallied. That's cool, but they still voted, and somebody's gonna win. And they'll probably know that by early tomorrow, if that's the case. I don't know if the votes have been tallied or not, but yeah. I might say it's definitely not the time to be politically correct. I mean, I get you. I'm sorry. Y'all know me. I just like to just make sure y'all got what y'all need. But yeah, phone line is open. 404-567-6536. And I'm interested to hear what you all think. The board voted today on a new president. And, of course, nothing has been finalized. And obviously, it'll probably be another several days before an actual announcement is made. But the good news is that the search is over, right? Isn't that good news to just be like, man, we're not looking for a president no more? Like, it's crazy. We've been at this for, 2-3 years now? And, like, to no avail. Like, no... It took all this time for us to get a leader back at the helm. And so, yeah, I'm happy about it. Phone line is open, 404-567-6536. Like, I don't have a guest tonight, so it's all y'all. It's all us just kind of talking back and forth, comments, all that stuff. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew what happened. Let's see what we got. Jarrell says, Community Day, welcome to Daytona, parade, field day, town hall, exhibit, and rollout. I mean, I don't know how it looks. Like, I don't know what the rollout looks like, but it needs to meet the moment, and it needs to match this seamlessness of which this process has been. Like, the process has been, guys, just look at what happened up the road, up in the school up north, right? Look at what they've been battling, what they've been dealing with in their search. It was a nasty, nasty fight for that job. A lot of mud slinging from all kinds of people, and it was just an ugly situation. And we didn't have that. Do we have some people that may not have gotten the person that they thought was gonna make it to the end, or did we have an alumni in the end? We didn't. Like, there are some things where I think people can look at and say, we didn't have this, we didn't have that, but our process was clean as it could possibly be. And so I'm thankful for that, that we don't have too much to like feel a way about with respect to like our situation, because it's been really, really, really good. And so I don't know. This is a call. Let's see who this is. You're live on the reel. Speaking with Steve Holmes. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Alonzo Lennon, class of 2013, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mr. Alonzo. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. First thing first, I love your show. I've always missed your show every Thursday evening. I always have to catch up Friday morning. So I want to say I appreciate you for being transparent with all alumni, having guests on, letting us know, keeping us informed. And I definitely love your show, man. Greatly appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for listening. Chat, can y'all hear the call? Just put in the chat if you guys can hear it or not. You should be able to, but I just want to make sure everybody can hear you because I'm doing this a little bit differently tonight. But go ahead. What's your thoughts?
So I appreciate the school, having everything on Zoom, being that, we have alumni all over the world where we can't, transcend on Daytona all at once. So being able to hear the two ladies talk about their vision and then the students having questions, alumni having questions, and so on and so forth, it was good to hear that dialogue and see where they stand. I honestly think either way it goes on out of all three, we could be good either way. I'm just praying just for our beloved university at this point that whomever is chosen, makes the right decisions and does what what they said that they were going to do, during those Zoom sessions that they had at the university.
Yeah, I think that's where all of us are, is the people who we end up, whomever is in that office. We just want to make sure, like, the stuff you campaigned and you came and talked to us about and stuff that you wanted to do, that you don't have to do it all, right?
Correct.
But we want to make sure that you are doing a good portion of it. So
Correct.
So yeah, I'm excited, man. Like, how? So let me ask you a question, and they're gonna probably yell at me in the comments because they asked me the same question and I gave them a politically correct answer. But who did you like?
I honestly, brother, I get the two confused. Whomever was the very first lady that came on, I think that was sometime like the first week in May or second week in May.
Yeah, that was Dr. Coleman Farrell.
Like all white.
Yeah, Coleman Farrell.
Yeah,
yep.
She was. Yeah, I think, to me, when I logged on, I was like, "Ooh, this lady's a firecracker. Might be the person that we might need." Because honestly, just being an alumni and being in from 2008 to 2013, I honestly think that we need somebody that's going to bite back to the board and say, "Hey, like, this is what we're going to do. This is what I decided to do, and this is what's about to happen."
Right.
Like, they don't need to be, nobody's type of opinion. Y'all brought me in here to do a job. This is what I'm about to do. So there shouldn't be no back and forth. Oh, we should do this. We should do that. This is what I decided to do. This is what we're about to do.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. I thought she came in. She was definitely a firecracker, and she had a confidence and again a bit of a bravado about her that I thought was kind of like, when I saw her talking, I'm like, okay, this lady's sharp, man. She's sharp.
Yeah. She came off, and it was a lot of alumni that I know personally. They was like, man, this lady here is a firecracker, dude. She coming off the rip.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think she'll do well. And if I had to choose one, I think it would be her.
Okay.
Definitely, for sure.
Not a bad choice. Cool, man. Well, thank you for calling in, and thank you for supporting the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man.
All righty. Somebody was also calling me around that time. You know who you are. If you want to call back, you're more than welcome to. But the line is open, 404-567-6563. All right, we got another caller here. Caller, you are live on the reel. What's your name and how can I help you?
Oh my goodness, I'm so honored that you answered my call.
Wow.
My name is Michelle Hall.
Wow.
And I have had the honor of witnessing you grow through this show as your wife and friend. And I just wanted to call in, although I know we're discussing this presidential search coming to an end, and as an alum, class of 2008, and former Marching Wildcat, I am just so happy and thrilled for this fresh start for our university. But most importantly, I know I'm not going to say who I love the most out of the three candidates. I want to publicly give you your flowers because you have helped to navigate and shine a light on this search and positive things that are happening at our university in a way that nobody has been able to do before. And I'm proud of you, and I pray that you continue to keep going. I tell you this behind the scenes, but I want the people to hear, because you put so much time and energy and effort into this, And I do pray that they give you an opportunity to interview whoever the president is that's elected, because you should first give. You've done the most work behind the scenes, and you don't ask for credit. But I just want you to know I'm proud of you, honey. You are representing well. You are departing to serve. And I'm your number one fan and supporter. So keep going. Don't worry about the mic. Don't worry about the camera. Don't worry. Just keep going. God got you. I love you.
I love you too. Y'all, that was my better half, Michelle Holmes, calling in to make her husband blush. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. We Wildcats, man. You know, we started on the campus, and we met 2003, 2004, and been rocking ever since, man. So yeah, I appreciate her calling in and giving me those words, and for really to all the people. All right, I love y'all. Another call. You're live on The Real with Steve. What's your name and how can we help you?
Good afternoon, Brother Holmes. Again, this is Mr. Yancey. I'm Adrian's father.
My man, Mr. Yancey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better today than I was yesterday because you know, we're inching closer to
Absolutely.
to something new. So yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I wanted again to just provide a parental perspective to this whole situation. You know, as parents of two young men that attended Bethune-Cookman, Adrian and also his brother Marquise, we have been involved since 2010 with Bethune-Cookman. They came to New Jersey, recruited Adrian. Spider McCoy, Mr. McCoy, matter of fact, came and recruited Adrian.
Yep.
And he was able to attend the university. So we've been in the struggle also for the last 15 years with president change after president change after president change. So we're also delighted as parents to be able to see some stability, hopefully and finally. My commentary, though, is around, from my experience, you know, as a corporate leader throughout my career, I've always known that when I was looking at candidates to hire, and if there was a level playing field, meaning that pedigree was the same, articulation was the same, all those things were sort of level, I always chose the candidate at the end of the day that had the visionary spirit to take me where I needed to go, to take my organization where we needed to go.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm like you. We're all waiting with bated breath out here to see who they chose. But I'm confident in the board that they did choose the right individual, and that individual has a spirit of visionary intelligence, and they know where to take this university. I'm talking 10 years plus.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I'll ask you the same question, and I agree with all of that. Who do you like out of the three candidates, and like why do you feel like that person is?
Well, you know, I don't. At my age, I've learned not to live in a political world, so I'm not political at all. I just come out and say what I think. You know, so, and I know your audience is listening. You know, Adrian and I have conversed back and forth about this, and what I did, I sort of looked at the background of all three candidates. You know, and I knew there was some politics in it. There's always politics involved. One candidate stood out to me in particular. And I listened to him in one of his classroom dissertations or classroom presentations to a bunch of young students in Iowa, and he really ignited my theory. I think it was about half an hour to 45 minutes that he was just talking. You know, he sort of took the jacket off and said, "Hey, you know, forget the pedigree. I'm with you tonight. Let's just chat."
Right.
So that sold me, in the beginning. Now, again, I know that all three candidates are qualified. I know they all have great pedigree. But there's always little nuances that help you to make a decision. That one thing was the thing that drove me toward him. Now, whether, you know, he wins or not, we're going to be back. We're going to boost. We're going to do whatever we can for the president to make sure that Bethune-Cookman continues on a successful path. But he sort of sold me the way he reached children. And that's something that I'm passionate about because our youth is certainly our future. So you heard it from me.
Yeah, that's a good call, man. I think the people that have spoken about Dr. Mosley, and I saw this with
Mm-hmm.
him more than probably any of the other two candidates, is
Mm-hmm.
there was just a connection that he had with
Right.
a lot of people, like a really personal type
Absolutely.
connection. So, yeah, I agree with that, man. Thank you for calling, and I appreciate
No
you and
problem.
Adrian. Adrian is, I know you guys are, a family of supporters of this show and the
Absolutely.
overall institution. So we appreciate you, and hail Wildcats.
Absolutely. And good luck and God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, he likes Dr. Mosley. The caller before that, like Dr. Farrell, and both for really good reasons. Let's see what we got. What's up, Lucretia? Good evening. Yeah, and so what I think, I think next week is going to be a momentous week um with the Day of Giving. Seems like it's going to line right up with the announcement. I don't know if they did that by design or not, but if they did, that's really good thinking. A lot of eyes are going to be on the school next week, and for really good reason. Again, we don't have I don't know that we'll have a controversial hire. Again, we may have a hire that maybe not everybody's satisfied with, and for no other reason than maybe they wanted this person to be it. But I mean, there won't be anything controversial about who's going to be sitting in that office. And one of the things that when we were talking with Mr. Derek Fietcher last week was the cleanliness of each candidate. Again, you go on the internet, you do a search for each one of them, and you just don't find very little, if anything, negative about all of them. And I know for a fact that probably knocked off a bunch of candidates where they just did the Google test and let's say, okay, we like this candidate, let's Google him or her. And they probably Googled him, and you probably just seen things come up for whatever reason. And when you got candidates who are clean, that could be the separator. And so yeah, you guys go ahead and call in 404-567-6536. Also, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. What we got? Sean says 250 million raised in 10 years as a president. Google him and read it for yourself. 250 ain't nothing to sneeze at, y'all. Them dorms we built with 300. So 250 is nothing to sneeze at. That is some real money. That is real, like, it's not that fake 237 million that the school up north got. He raised a legit $250 million. Albert Mosley can raise some money. And so one of the other candidates can probably raise some money too, but we know who's got the proven track record of raising money. And to me, if I'm tipping my hand a little bit as to who I like, it's gonna be the person who has got a proven track record to raise money. Do with that what you may. I think again, it's going to be a big deal, whomever it is. They've got a big job. Mr. Wells said the best. Whomever's coming in here, like the school is getting ready to go under the knife for surgery, and I already know whoever it is, they gonna come into our school. Mosley, Coleman, Farrell, Gibbs, and they gonna open the book of all of our stuff, and it probably gonna be sick. They gonna probably be sick because our school, and I mean, obviously, let me say this: we've righted the ship on a lot of things, but there's a lot that has not been addressed in years. Each of the candidates, and I hate to say this, I hate to say this, each of the candidates made sure to note that there was mold in the dorms. I heard that from each candidate, that they saw mold in the dorms with their own eyes. That is terrible. That is terrible, because those kids are sleeping in those dorms, and mold has always been an issue in those dorms. I never forget, Michelle had a bad mold issue in her room back when we were there in LLC, and spores and all these things was growing in our room. Looked like that show The Last of Us on HBO. I mean, it got bad. Ruined a lot of her clothes and all that stuff. And what I'm saying is, those are the under the surface issues that have gone unchecked for a long time. And I'm not talking about just painting over that stuff. Like, we need money to rehab our institution. It's an old school, and we've been a rudderless ship for like 10 years. And there's so much work that needs to be done on this old house, and having the right person in place who not only that can have the vision to get those things taken care of, but can also raise the money to get it done. And you raise money a few ways. You go out there and you ask for it. You go find big donors, or you increase enrollment and you grow the school organically. You make sure you got more kids coming to Bethune-Cookman. Let me tell you something, y'all. Let me say this. Bethune-Cookman is in position today to be the #1 HBCU in the state of Florida. And y'all, let me hold that thought. Somebody's calling. Hold that thought, y'all. Thank you. You're live on the Real, talking with Steve. What's going on?
Yeah, how's it going?
Going pretty good.
You're absolutely right on the mold issue. I brought that to the president, to the interim president's attention. I'm gonna tell you what I did.
Hold up 1 second. Who we talking to?
Sean Higgins.
Sean Higgins, my man. How you doing?
All right.
All right, go ahead.
At 4:00 in the morning, I snuck into 3 dormitories because I met some students in the park who told me they lived in the dormitory with mold in it.
You snuck in?
I couldn't believe it. So I went and I verified it. I saw it for myself. They had rooms closed off in dormitories.
Okay.
I visited 3 of them. Thompson Hall, and it's another one, I can't think of the name of it. It's right next to Thompson Hall.
Yeah.
But
I can't think of the name of it either.
Each dormitory had rooms in it that were damaged from the hurricane. You got to remember that we were one of the hardest hit cities during that hurricane.
Yep.
And we were one of the first universities to evacuate. So the students were safe. But they left everything in those dormitories.
Yeah.
So mold was going to sit up. And you're in Florida where you have to deal with changes in temperatures.
Yeah.
So you're going to have mold. And to be honest with you, they're not, the school is not doing the maintenance on the buildings that they should. I talked to individuals who were, a lot of it has to do on the students and home training. It starts at everything, like they say, everything starts at home.
Yes.
You ain't learned to clean up at home. How you going to go off to school and clean up?
That's true.
You have to be taught that.
Yep.
So that's a lot to do with the mold issue up on the campus.
Yeah.
They have, the students are living in some horrible conditions.
Yes, and that is unfortunate, and
they're lucky that someone hasn't really gone public and shown everything that's going on up there. They're lucky that the students haven't done that.
Yeah,
yes. The health department would close some of those buildings down, from what I saw.
Yeah, I agree. I when I was there, I seen it with my own eyes, and I know all of us on this broadcast tonight that their students have seen it.
I come from old school, Megson, Curtis Hall, and all. I played all over there.
Yeah.
The school, the foundation sits on an aquifer.
Yep.
On a natural aquifer, so there's always water there, muddy there. They've always had a mold issue, and it's not just the Bethune-Cookman. Howard had the same issue too.
Yeah.
A few years back, all the HBCU schools are having these issues.
It's true.
Because they're not getting it. So we just can't say that Bethune-Cookman is horrible and everything's just at Bethune-Cookman. All of us are experiencing that.
That is true. That is true. Well, listen, man, thank you for calling. I got another call coming in. I'm going to take that one, but I appreciate you, Sean.
No problem.
Thanks, man. You're live on the Real with Steve. You there?
Hello, brother Holmes. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
This is Chuck Hunt calling.
Hey, Mr. Chuck, how you doing?
Louisiana.
How you doing, man?
All right. I know I'm not part of the family, but I was just it was okay. I was just going to give. I can imagine what you just talk about what your topic is all about. Is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You got it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was thinking about you. And by the way, hats off to you all winning. A thing about Bethune-Cookman's baseball team, what Jonathan Hernandez has done with their team. You all won the SWAC championship and did quite well, and didn't do bad in the super region. I know you wish. I mean, not the super region. I meant the regionals. I know you wish you could have gotten to the super regionals, but it could come one day. And now, just on the topic, you talking about the next president. I know you're all looking for a president that supports the overall institution, because sometimes presidents not all get snooty when it comes to sports, and they don't have a clue about sports, and that's my concern about the one of your candidates that's from Morehouse. It's different. It's different dealing with a school like Morehouse that don't. People had a stereotype about Morehouse and Howard said, they're not into sports, they're this and that. People have those stereotypes about them, saying that they're bourgeois, and slang word bougie. But the thing about it, you have to have someone that supports the overall school. Bethune-Cookman is not like it's a big difference between you all and the Morehouse men. The focus is totally different, and I don't want to go too far into that.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense. And they are. I mean, they're both private schools, and they're again all male school, where traditional, co-ed institution, and so there are some differences there. And Morehouse is a different type of HBCU. They do things very. It's a unique experience there. It's a great experience, especially if you're a young black man. Oh, yeah. Great institution, and so, but yeah, I agree that it's much different from our flavor of institution. So yeah, I would agree there.
Yes, it's a big difference between Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune's mission and at Morehouse. You talk about Dr. Benjamin Mays, who's interred there on the campus. Think about what the look at things are totally different, and Mary's children have done. You all are resilient people down there in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have endured quite a bit, and we just keep enduring. We keep enduring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in, and
all right.
And we'll keep rapping. Maybe we'll chat again next week.
It's always great conversing with you, Brother Holmes, and I wish the best for you all with your presidential search.
Thank you,
take care.
Thank you, Mr. Chuck. Thank you. All righty.
All right.
Bye-bye. So, yeah, a couple of great calls there. I was making a point that I want to get back to while we wait for somebody else to call. Bethune-Cookman is in a very unique position right now. This school is right on the verge right now of being the top HBCU in this state for a couple of reasons. Because of what's happening in government and what they're doing to public education and how they are trying to manipulate I don't want to say manipulate. They're trying to control, again, how the public schools in the state are managed and ran. But Bethune-Cookman right now has the potential to morph into the strongest black institution in the state of Florida. Now, it'll happen basically because of BS that's happening with the state, but we can take advantage of that, again, because we're a private institution. We won't have the bureaucracy. We won't have the red tape. We won't have the same type of oversight happening on our institution that the University of Florida, Florida A&M, Florida State, USF, UCF, those schools have to deal with. And just think about what happened at the University of Florida. That is the top school in Florida. UF is educationally, academically, the top school in Florida. They've got probably the endowment of all of the HBCUs, a couple of the other PWIs. Like, there's just so much money up there in Gainesville. A lot of power up in Gainesville. But even their board, with all the influence and all the money they have at that school, isn't enough to stop a governor like Ron DeSantis from making the changes that he's making to University of Florida, Florida A&M. And we don't know how it's going to play out for them. We have no idea what's going to happen with either of those schools. It could work out for the better. It could work out for the worse. Like, we don't know. All we know is FAMU, they don't, like they're at the mercy of a Republican government in Florida. The same for Florida State, USF, UCF. They are all at the mercy of Ron DeSantis, not Bethune-Cookman. And that should be the things that we should be focusing on. That should be the thing that we should be our differentiating factor moving forward. Is that we're different in the sense that, sometimes oversight is good. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes bureaucracy and oversight can strangle an institution, right? And I just don't think we'll have to deal with that in the same breath that the school up north has to. Because listen, we're going to have to play nice with Republicans. They run the state. We're going to need money. So whomever this next president is, they've got to be able to make inroads with Ron DeSantis, with the Board of Governors, with Republicans, with MAGA. And I know some of y'all stomach churn at the thought of that. But listen, if we were raising millions and millions and millions of dollars a year as alumni to help fund our school, and if we had a large enough student body to be self-sustaining, then we wouldn't need to get, supplemental funding from the state. But we don't. Our giving percentage is probably still around 3 or 4%. So we gotta, if we're not going to rely on the government and we're not going to rely on Ron DeSantis, then situations that are happening next Wednesday, the big give, like, we got to start busting the giving out of the park. Or else, every year, we going to have to go up to Tallahassee and beg the state for money. Because we going to need it. I think the state's giving us like $17 million or something like that a year now in their budgets. And that's, that's money we need. Like, if we lose that, we got to find a way to come up with that kind of money. And right now, again, we don't give enough as alumni to feel good that we'll be able to cover that. So you got to have a leader in place that can get alumni to raise money and also find big donors to help fund the institution. And then that way you really can do what you want to do. And you can say, you know what, to the people up there in the government. But until we get to that point, and until we find a leader that can rally the troops and bring in big donors, don't be surprised if you see our president or whomever having to go shake hands with people who we may deem as dangerous or not productive people to our situation. All right. And we're taking, I think, one more call. Here we go. Let's see what we got. You're on the rail talking with Steve. Who we speaking with?
You're speaking with Vernon Jackson from Palm Beach. How you doing tonight?
What's up, Mr. Jackson? Doing pretty good. What you got?
Well, we're at a very critical situation with Bethune-Cookman. I'm hoping and praying that the board has made the right decision and they were guided by the Spirit of the Lord. And I do believe that it's a new day at Bethune-Cookman.
Yes, sir. I agree.
And I was reading earlier today, Steve, where when Dr. Bethune had to relinquish her power as a president, she was getting the board of trustees as well as the Methodist board on the same playing field.
Yep.
That whoever become the next president of Bethune-Cookman, they got to walk in the footsteps of what the foundation she had laid.
This is true.
I'm hoping and praying that somehow if we have an alumni or somebody can make contact with Robert Smith, which is my frat brother, he's an alpha, he's a billionaire, to get in contact with him to give money or donate towards Bethune-Cookman. But I know we as alumni got to be on the same playing field to give back.
This is true. This is true. And I think that is the biggest thing. I think big donors will begin to open their wallets when they see that the alumni are doing their part. That's normally how it goes. They like when big donors cut checks, they look at alumni giving. And they're like, why am I going to give $1 million to the school when the alumni aren't doing anything? And so that matters. That matters for sure.
So I'm hoping and praying on the 18th, like I say, all alumni get on board and whatever we can give to show that we are now back on track. Are we moving in that direction to get back to our school to make us one of the best HBCUs in the state of Florida?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. And thank you for calling, Mr. Vernon.
Yeah, and I always support your show, and you keep doing what you're doing.
Yes,
God
sir.
Bless you.
I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you. Hell Wildcats.
Hell Wildcats.
Yeah. Listen. We got a big job to do tonight. We got a big job to do. Period. There's a lot happening, and I just hope whomever it is, because we don't know. We have no idea which candidate or if the candidate that's chosen is going to be good or bad. We won't know that for a couple years. You just won't know it until you look back and say, okay, after his first year or after her first year, what happened? What did we do? Where did we get better? Where did we maybe fall back on? And then you can look back after maybe 2 years, 3 years, and then you say, okay, yes, we actually made the right choice. So even if we feel like the board made the best choice, at the end of the day, like, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Like, did you or didn't you? And I tell my daughters all the time, nobody wants to hear your excuses. They don't want to hear what hindered you from doing this or what hindered you from doing that. Did you or didn't you? And if you did, cool. And if you didn't, okay, why not? Right? So let's go back to the comments before we shut it down. I think the right leader will open the alumni pockets. Yes, absolutely. Sean says Bethune-Cookman University program is above average among university schools. They have some of the highest placement rates in the nation. This is true. The nursing program for sure is like one of the top in the states. I think it's the number 2 HBCU in terms of nursing schools. And so, like, yeah, that's a big deal. All right, y'all. Listen. We at time. I'm not gonna go over too much like I did last week. I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. I know y'all thought I was about to tell y'all who the president was, but y'all know I ain't got the juice. I ain't got juice like that, like at all. But again, I did know that they held the vote today, and I know some stuff is gonna get taken care of over the weekend as far as deals and contracts and all of that stuff. And yeah, so it's gonna be cool. One final pub for this bad boy here. Listen, next week, y'all, if you get paid tomorrow, just take $20, $30, $50 and just set it to the side. All right, and just know next week you're gonna send it to the school. All right, and you gonna call one of your buddies or your homegirls that went to Cookman and say, hey, will you match what I give? Right? Or call somebody and say, if you can't match it, can you do half? All right. Listen, we got to start getting back to funding our school regularly because they need us. They need us. Y'all have been great. Y'all have been great. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I don't know the schedule for next week, but just know, depending on what happens, next week will likely be my last show until August. I got to take some time. The kids got a bunch of stuff going on. We'll do a little mini vacay here or there or something. But listen, it's time to break it down. And then we got Golden Honors starting in July. So I want y'all to make sure that you lock in with that. More info will be coming. Florida boy, salute to you, my man. Hell Wildcats. That's all I got. So I will see you all next week, and hopefully the next time we talk, we'll be able to say we got the 8th president of Bethune-Cookman University. All right. Peace.